today's video, I'm going to address a simple but important concept for digital painters. I get asked variations of the same question all the time. What's the best way to draw X? Well, in this video, I'm going to answer all those questions in 3 steps. So to get the idea set up, let's first examine the difference between a professional chef and everyone else that cooks. When you learn to cook, it consists of following recipes. You follow steps A through Z in the right order, and you end up with a dish that matches the example. If you wanted to go down the professional track, however, you then learn the fundamental relationships between foods and seasonings and how they work together. So what's happening chemically in the food? Why would you need to balance the acidity of a dish? Well, sadly, these concepts are not taught in most cookbooks. And the exact same problem exists when it comes to teaching yourself to draw or to paint in Photoshop. My friends and I like to joke about the 1-2 dragon school of drawing. This is where you follow those simple steps. Start with a few circles, add a line here and there, and then bam, you've got a nice finished painting. This is even worse than cookbooks full of recipes. So many art instructional books claim to teach a certain subject matter. How to draw cars, how to draw anime women, sci-fi environments, etc. I think it's books like these that give artists the misconception that they need to learn a recipe for each and every type of object. That's just not true. You need to know how to render a form, which is using lines, light, and shadow, and you need to know something about your subject matter. So to draw a person is pretty similar to drawing a car or to draw a stoplight. So I'm going to offer up an alternative 3-step process to learn to draw anything. The first step is getting to know your subject matter, visual research. For some reason, there's a misconception out there among young artists that to copy someone is cheating. Well, the truth is, it'd be impossible to know about everything on the planet. So if you're going to draw something, you got to get some research. A great way to avoid worrying about copying someone directly is to have a wide variety of reference material. I like to gather photographs of the real-world object. I also like to get artist work, including sketches, or the way they think about the object, and final works. And I'll put all these on a single image together and have it near me while I'm painting. This can be a great opportunity for a second monitor if you've got one, or alternately you could make a printout, really anything so that while you're working, you can look at a variety of different representations of that object. The next step is direct observation. If it's at all possible, get out there and see how your object exists in the real world. This obviously doesn't work for dragons and space marines, but the idea is to gain a context for what you're drawing. Because when you go to paint from your imagination, you're going to be combining 2 things. What you see, which is your reference sheet, and what you remember, which is your real-world understanding of where the object exists in context. And the third step is practice. If you have trouble with a certain type of subject matter, you need to tackle it. Draw lots and lots of that thing. And in this case, before I made this video, I had never thought too much about fire hydrants. So I arbitrarily picked them as a subject matter for the video. And then I look at my photo reference, and I drew 4 of them. And in doing so, I saw all sorts of man-made, tiny details that I would have never considered. It's these little details that I'll remember, and these details are going to go into my next drawing. Maybe it won't be a fire hydrant, but instead it'll be a tank or a sci-fi installment of some sort. But it's looking at real-world reference, these actual tangible things, that'll really add a certain amount of believability to your work, which is done from imagination. So in every drawing I do, there's some piece of subject matter that I'm just not familiar with. Even though I'm primarily drawing from my imagination, I invariably follow steps 1 and 2. And if given the luxury of extra time, I'll do as much of number 3 as I can. So I'd love to hear how you guys tackle difficult subject matter. If you've got any interesting methods or some good resources, let's hear about it in the comments. Thanks for watching.